Greetings, Earthlings. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing so well today. Welcome to a new Psychic Pick a Card Tarot reading. In this video there are 4 animal spirit guides and one of them has a message for you. If this is your first time here, a special hello to you. Hi, I'm Zach. I use a natural psychic ability, you have it too, to read tarot cards here on YouTube. Alright you guys, it's always super helpful to remember that this is just a general reading. If something doesn't resonate, that message was likely for someone else. You either chose the wrong pile, or you're not quite ready to hear that message yet. So as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. I also want to show you guys how easy it is to book a personal reading with me. You can follow the link in the description box on any video. You can go to my channel and follow the link in my banner, or you can use the address listed on this account and email me. Thank you so much for sitting through that. Now, before you choose a pile, make sure you do make an effort to ground your energy. When you ground your energy, it gives us the very best chance at linking up in time and space so that I can pull forward the most useful information. It also ensures that you're choosing a pile with your intuition so you get linked up with a message that was meant for you. Okay, you guys, I will see you at your chosen pile. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. I hope you guys are doing so well today. So you guys chose the spirit guide of the fox, and that's pretty great. For some reason, I always look at this little guy as a fennec fox, so from the desert, but that doesn't have to be what your spirit guide looks like. It could definitely just be a red fox. And the message with this red fox that I'm going to loosely interpret through the rest of your reading as I draw tarot cards is the message of camouflage. And now this can take so many different forms, so I guess I just want to start by pulling maybe a card or two, because I'll start here. Ooh, Queen of Pentacles. Okay. So, okay, what I'm getting is that some of you, I hope that you guys realize that we are all born with gifts. We all have talents. We each have unique abilities, and it doesn't matter if the abilities we have differ from other people, because it's the idea that we have our own unique set. And what I really get from the message of this fox, you guys, I'm going to stop beating around the bush, is that some of you really don't feel like you're all that special, or that you're unique, or some of you have kind of convinced yourself that you were born plain or ordinary, and the life you are going to lead is just going to be, plain or ordinary. And the fox, it really makes me think of someone who is seductive and attractive, and who really is here to have the most abundant life. I think of foxes, and I think of, though I don't support using animal fur, I think of, those foxtail coats. I think of really regal people. Someone who's foxy is just, very charming, charismatic, again, lots of charm. And what I'm getting is that you guys, I think some of you may not have the greatest self-esteem, or may not have the greatest amount of self-confidence. And what I want to remind you guys is that is camouflage in and of itself. I think that pile 1, everyone who chose the fox, really desires to have a life that's filled with friends and joy, and perhaps especially a life purpose is what I'm getting from this Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so now that I've picked up on your energy, I'm going to draw some cards for you guys. I'm going to draw a spread, so just give me a few seconds. And so here we go. Let's see. I see self-sabotage. Okay, I always look at the Seven of Swords as self-sabotage, and what I'm getting is that there's this idea that pile one needs to have some more sumptuous experiences in their life. Okay, let's go ahead and draw a house. So what I see is self-sabotage as far as legacy and what you're here to build, okay? And the future that you desire for yourself. I think some things underneath the surface for pile one have to do with this idea of desire and wanting friends and really meaningful connections and really desiring a strong life purpose. Can I have a house? What house is this dealing with? The 10th house, reputation. Okay. So career seems to be very significant to everyone who chose pile one, which you guys are here to do. This is kind of a remarkable amount of synchronicity. So we're talking about the patriarchy, empire. We have the emperor, who's definitely an authority figure, okay? So what I'm sensing is this idea of utilizing your natural cunning to bring in something else. Okay, you guys? I get the idea that perhaps we are a little less satisfied with what we have going on right now, okay? And what I'm getting is it's almost this energy of the fox, okay? It's the idea of creating a camouflage. We think that we're ordinary. We think that we are, just without a lot of talents, or we just don't really know if we're beyond being plain. And what I'm getting is that it's so significant for pile one to dig deep right now to figure out what makes you happy, what makes you scurry through life, what can you get into where you lose your mind, not in a crazy way, but lose track of time is the message I'm hearing. And I think that is going to look a little bit different for everyone. Okay, so we just had a couple more cards pop out. The Star, Strength, and the Ace of Swords. Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, so the Star tells me it's the energy of be helpful. Strength tells me to dig deep in order to find clarity with this Ace of Swords. Okay, so again, it's this energy. This fox seems to really want to communicate this idea of camouflage and cunning. Okay, this idea that right now, I think our senses are perhaps a little bit dulled, right? And I get that. The world moves too fast. The world is ugly. There's so many other factors that we have to sort of pay attention to, like finances and career and, a 40-hour work week, which I really need to see disappear in my lifetime. It's something I feel very passionate about. And I think that these ideas are all really relevant to pile one as well. I'm getting the idea that we need to develop a little bit of self-confidence and courage in order to go in some direction, okay? The Two of Wands, to me, talks about a choice. It's choosing to go one way or the other. And what I'm getting with this star is a reminder that you too have star potential and you incarnated with many gifts. And what I get for the majority of you is that you're so curious about what you're meant to do, where you're supposed to be an authority figure in your life. And this answer will come when you can have this moment where you dig deep. The Strength card to me talks about realizing the inner beauty that we have. And what I'm feeling for you guys is that you should just have this moment where you sit down with a pen and paper. I always feel like, you guys, it's so helpful to take the thought realm and put it into the tangible. Otherwise, it can run rampant, okay? So take the thought from the mind, put it into the tangible with a pencil on paper. This is real magic, and it's real helpful. So this idea of sitting down with yourself and describing what you're good at. What do you do that you lose track of time? What's something that really excites you and lights you up? And it doesn't have to be something that has a job attached to it. For example, so I always use horses as something I do. I love to ride horses and training. But the mistake would be to think of horses and training as like a career. Okay, so I need to become a good enough rider in order to be in the Olympics, which was a dream of mine at one point. Instead of the energy of just realizing that I love to spend time around horses, and then as I were to figure out this energy of being around horses, perhaps I would realize that, oh, I love to draw. So what if I were to draw horses? And then as I drew horses, then I start making these beautiful paintings and watercolor paintings, and I experiment with everything to do with the horse and what it means to me. And over time, that idea of loving horses and spending time with horses develops a body of work that has to do with horses. And then suddenly you're an artist and you have gallery openings, and people in magazines and companies are buying your horse artwork to put on their postcards and magazine covers. And this is the energy that I'm getting for pile one. It's this idea of sitting down and describing, without trying to figure out what job is connected to this, what you feel so inspired by, where you can lose track of time, what is something that you really love to do, and shake off any former notions of not being worthy. Shake off this idea of being born plain and being born ordinary. If you're someone who is interested in tarot readings, it tells me that you're someone who's on the path of awakening, or you're on the path of self-awareness. And to me, all of those people are people who are born with spiritual gifts. And, there is an idea that I have. I do feel like there are some humans on Earth who maybe aren't necessarily incarnated a lot of times. They're more... I don't know how to illustrate this without offending people, but it is an idea I have. I really feel like there are some people who are just people. Who are just people. I don't really know if I want to take that anywhere else, but it's the energy that you guys are not. If you're interested in tarot, you're interested in spirituality, you believe in reincarnation, you know that life goes on after this plane, you're someone who is born with spiritual gifts, or at the very least, many gifts and talents that you have developed and picked up through incarnations. It would be virtually impossible to live multiple lives and not learn anything and not develop talents, okay? So this reading seems to be about career and talents and this idea of self-worth and needing to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and love yourself. I think you could sit down in front of a mirror while you're writing down all these things and start talking to yourself in a way that allows you to feel more confident, because you guys, it is the feeling that brings the thoughts into the tangible, okay? It's a form of visualization is now what I'm getting for you guys. It's a message of visualizing where you were when you had fun the last time. I'm seeing you guys visualize where you want to be and really, really taking it there. But it is beyond the visualization. Again, it is the idea of feeling. So take the idea and turn it into an emotion, which is more tangible than just a fleeting idea. And allow yourself to feel what it would be to be in this position of power, to be in the spotlight, to be in someone who has a lot of authority and sway over a field in your life. Let's see where else I want to take this reading. Is there anything we want to talk to pile one about? I'm going to reach for another deck, you guys. Just give me a second. I'm liking this Nordic tarot deck today. Let's see what's going on here. Four of Wands. Queen of Cups, Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Again, a future you desire is with friendships. Okay, this idea of cunning and fox is coming through again. An idea of not camouflaging yourself as someone who is plain or ordinary. That is camouflage, because I think that's camouflaging your real desire to have significant relationships, to live a life of abundance, to really feel inspired and fiery like the fox, okay? I think that there is this moment I see in your future where you are celebrating something I look at the Four of Wands as kind of like a baby shower, a homecoming, a celebration, a party. It's the energy that's really uplifted, okay? Queen of Cups to me talks about healing. And for some of you, it could be healing a wound with a maternal figure. For some of you, I'm getting that one of your parents perhaps really boxed your mind in at a young age, and you had dreams and longings when you were young. We want to rediscover those, okay? Knight of Pentacles says that if you wish to experience more abundance, it's really important to be grounded in this present moment in order to bring that in. And when you're grounded in the present moment, you can start to appreciate everything that you have around you. One thing that I always think of is like, in order to know that this is happening, do something really mundane and try to enjoy it. For example, washing the dishes. It's I don't know. A lot of dishes in this house is what I will say. And it can be really annoying because I'm someone who's very creative and influenced by my work environment. And so when the house is a mess, it really cramps my style. And when I'm in the mood to do something creative, I want to do it then. And something like doing dishes for 30 minutes always feels like a major, block in my way. But I've begun to realize that when I need to express gratitude, that's really helpful. Doing something mundane and really feeling, again, this idea of feeling it, emotion is coming through, okay, you guys? I'm getting the idea that you want to be very successful, but there's something in the mind that's stopping you. And to me, this feels like an idea that you guys don't really have many talents and gifts, okay? But that is not true because, one of the first cards that came out was the Queen of Pentacles, and I see her for you, okay? I see her as a representation of someone who has a great balance between their career and earthly pleasures. And to me, earthly pleasures talk about joy and friendship, okay? These are all the messages I'm getting so far with the fox, and I want to draw a spiritual card for you guys. Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realm. Okay. What I'm getting for this card is an emphasis on the solar plexus chakra. And to me, that talks about the color yellow, and that talks about self-awareness, and it can talk about the idea of incorporating yellow in your life. Maybe go out and buy some yellow throw pillows, maybe start wearing the color yellow, getting some sunlight. It's also making me think of wheat and abundance, so I'm thinking of the Empress, and I'm getting the idea of being very, very creative right now. I'm getting the idea of getting grounded and figuring out where your senses have become dulled in order to have a more abundant experience. I'm getting the idea that your guides are here and listening to always. And your guides are definitely going to start assisting you in showing you symbols and synchronicities to help you remember what you love to do. Because again, I feel like I am not a fan, you guys, of Earth, right? I love Earth. Earth, her, the planet, Mother Earth, yes. But I do not like the world that we have to live in, the world that we're brought up in, because there's so many blinders and blocks and limiting points of view because there's scarcity and things are expensive, yada, yada, yada. It's that energy of getting really confused and camouflaged and sort of blinded by all the mundane that really can lower our energy and make us think differently and put us in mindsets that really box us in. And we kind of, cut ourselves off from experiencing more, from experiencing what our heart truly desires. And then we can create things and stories that keep us trapped in these limitations. For example, thinking that you were born ordinary and that you don't have anything that you can develop and shine, but you guys do. You have this star, and you have this inner determination that really means that you will be able to go the distance just as soon as you find this moment of clarity, okay? I'm looking at this Ace of Swords as a giant pen, and what I really want you guys to do is take a pen to paper and start listing out what you know you're good at, and I want you to do 3 of them. Write down 3 things right off the bat. Disconnect from an idea of an ego imbalance. No, we need egos in order to go through life. If we didn't have an ego, we would just be this nothingness, experiencing something for the sake of what, okay? That's an important message that's coming through very strongly. Your ego is important, okay? And it does not mean that you are an egomaniac. The ego is simply the way you interpret things, you, yourself, your unique experience of consciousness. So, again, write down what you know you are good at, because I know you are good at something. For some of you, I just thought it's fashion. It's the ability to visualize your entire wardrobe when you're getting dressed. And you know what? Again, it's that idea of not thinking about becoming a stylist. It's the idea of just loving how you visualize clothing, and eventually that leads to something, just like the example I was talking about with horses. Don't try to jump all the way to the end, the career, because again, that's that self-limiting belief, that's that block, that's that blinder. It's like the idea of let it grow and develop organically, and let it first start to be this idea, and let yourself experiment with that idea, and it will take so many different shapes. And as long as you're not hyper focused on the outcome, as long as you're not hyper focused on becoming someone, it's the idea of just let this unfold naturally, while you have this inner determination that's coming through again to see it materialize in the 3D realm. Okay, now let's see if I can, I want to clear these cards. I'm feeling another message come through. Okay. This is for pile 1. Okay. You guys definitely are the magician. Okay, so where do you begin is the question I just heard. To me, you right now, presently, have all the tools at your disposal. This is simply a pen and paper. You see what we're talking about? We're literally drawing down as above, so below. Drawing this idea from the mind, putting it down on the tangible. This magician's literally illustrating that. You're pointing to the desire, and it started where? Above, so in the mind. And where is it going to go? Down on the ground. You guys have a flowering mind, okay? A lot of creative potential here. You guys right now are very, very, in a sort of magical way, capable right now of manifesting your desires. All of the elements are on the table here. You have the pentacles, the cup, sword, and wands, and all that it requires is you to turn inwards, listen to your intuition, and bring down what you want to experience, because I'm feeling like it's friendships or joy or career success. And with the power of the magician on your side, you're going to be capable of manifesting this. What else, magician? Some of you really are already developing your career right now, and you're just, experiencing a roadblock. Something's been set in your path, and you're just like, really? Why? Why? I've been building this for so long. For others of you, there are real tangible results that are on the vine, and you're just not able to see them right now. And what I want you to do is reverse a little bit. I want you to backtrack a little bit and realize where you were before you started this. Okay, it's the energy of recognizing that there certainly is a lot of potential here. And, this figure is looking pretty gloomy, kind of down and out, and it's the idea that, again, we need to figure out where our senses got dulled. Okay, there's the idea of dulled senses, and what I feel for the majority of you is that this is an inner saboteur or a mindset that was imposed on you by the harsh reality of this world we live in. Whoa. What else? Some of you need to leave behind some idea, and it's an emotional attachment is what I'm getting. Okay, so let's see if I can put down some earth magic. Wow, your reading is very long. Okay, let's allow this to be the last card. You. Whoa, cool. Okay. Yay. I don't think this card has come out yet. Crystals. Okay. So crystals talk about focus here. And what I'm getting is this magician, okay? And now I'm seeing you guys as feeling a lot more empowered, okay? I see you guys recognizing that, you know what? I have sort of disillusioned myself into thinking that I was ordinary because I was looking at people outside me and looking at their successes, and that's not what you want to do, pile 1, because, when you start looking at someone else's successes and you try to go after that, you're going after their dream and their vision, and what we want is clarity, okay? We want to figure out what you guys are here to do, because you incarnated with some significant gifts, okay? And I'm trying to find that. Where are you? Ace of Swords card. Okay. Okay, so crystals, yeah, they're really good for helping you focus with intentions. Okay, and now because we were talking about magic and calling something down, you guys could start looking into a crystal that's associated with what you're desiring. Okay, but what I'm also just getting is that you could use clear quartz, any crystal, and charge it with the intention to bring you clarity as far as what this passion of yours is, where you have sort of become a little bit dull in the senses. If you're not experiencing joy, if you're not really thrilled about waking up every day, if you don't have incredible friends, if you don't have this grand happiness surrounding life purpose, if you don't love what you do, these are all energies that can be shifted because you get to choose what you experience in this life. And we really want you to experience the most abundant life. I can see that in the Magician. It's just flowering above and below. And you know what? It's kind of making me think of this crystal card, okay? I see the magic in the middle right here and the roses above and below. It's making me think of this Magician card, and it feels like the key element right now is the mind and putting down on paper, calling down what you desire to experience. I think this is something to do with career. And again, it's the idea of write down 3 things that you know you're good at. I want to hear it, you guys. I want to know. I love building this community. Hey, I'm thinking of building a Patreon so that I can develop this community even more because, I don't know, lately you guys have been leaving so many comments and it's awesome. I love reading them. I love hearing more about the people that are being attracted to these readings. And so that's what I'm getting for you guys. Okay, I really hope you enjoyed this message. It came from the spirit of the fox. I sat down with the fox for quite a while and meditated on these ideas. And if you've made it this far into the video, you can give me a big thumbs up. It helps me go so far in the land of YouTube. And until next time, stay divine. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading, My Butterfly. So, you guys might be seeing butterflies a lot at this time, or you perhaps just simply see a lot of butterflies. And what I'm getting is that when these messages that we're about to talk about come through, you'll start to see them butterflies. You'll see a lot of butterflies. That's just what I'm getting. And butterflies talk about the mind and self-awareness and a never-ending cycle of self-transformation. And it feels like this butterfly here has a message for you. And it's, it's only because you guys are ready to undergo some type of transformation. I already see that illustrated in the cards too, okay? So the butterfly can talk about identifying what stage you're in so that you can continue the cycle. Again, self-awareness is never ending. You can never know yourself enough. And we want to figure out, are you guys in the egg stage? Are you in the larva stage, the cocoon, the birthing stage? The egg stage talks about an idea or a thought about a project, okay? So before we go on any further, I want everyone in Pile 2 to identify a project they'd like a little bit of insight on, okay? And keep this project in mind throughout the reading. Some of you might be in the egg stage, so it's just an idea, okay? And that's the idea of, like building a gazebo is what I'm seeing, or building just a little addition to the house or a shed, okay? That's just a very, very oversimplified idea to just get the wheels rolling. Some of you are in the cocoon phase, so something's developing. The larva stage, to bounce backwards, talks about making a decision, and then the birth phase where the butterfly emerges from the cocoon. So there's something that's transforming, some transformative energy. And as always, I'd like to sort of figure out what house this is going to be under to help this interpretation, and I'm getting the 11th house. And for the majority of you, it's the idea of experimentation, and for others of you, it's friendships. Okay, but more along the lines of a community. And that makes me realize that, I'm thinking about doing a Patreon, so keep that on your mind. I want to start building a community, and I got this idea, so that's the egg phase, when I saw that, people have started to leave a lot more comments on my videos lately, and it's really, really cool to see who's out there, who's attracted to these readings. So if you're here, thank you so much. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and spending some time with me. and getting out this message that this butterfly wants to relay to you. So let's dive in. I see the Knight of Pentacles, you guys, and this talks about slow and steady work, followed by the Tower. And this first message that's coming through is to let this project crumble to the ground and not worry about that, because more ideas will come. The Lightning always talks about it can be serendipity, it can be divine inspiration, it can be epiphanies. And what I'm getting is that there's something you've been building, slow and steady. The Tower is here to shake that up because we need to sprinkle in something else. There's something authentic that needs to be added to this. There's an ingredient missing, okay? And I don't want you guys to fear this Tower. You know, I've had this specific deck of cards for like 7 or 8 years, and for the first time ever, I drew on one of them, and it happens to be this Tower card. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but what I wrote on it is, it's all in your head. Okay, so the Tower I used to associate with big scary things like cars breaking down, job losses. Yeah, I can do that. But the major arcana really talk about archetypal energy. So this Tower crumbling is more of a mental barrier. Okay, and so it talks to me about an epiphany. Sometimes we box ourselves in with self-limiting beliefs because that's as creative as we've been in those moments. And the Tower is here to shake things up. So for some of you, this is the energy of we've been building something slow and steady. It's been taking a lot of time, and it's almost important to recognize that it hasn't been moving forward quickly. And I think it's because it's going in a direction that's not supported. And that's not a bad thing, because the big energy I'm getting for you guys is to let it crumble down in order for the phoenix to rise from the ashes, okay? I'm getting the idea of let this crumble down because I'm seeing it be very fertile. It does something to the soil that helps this project grow, okay? Because one thing that the Emperor is very good at is making life happen in the middle of nowhere. That's what I get when I see this Emperor. He's very good at getting every desire in his mind down on earth. He can create something from nothing, is the energy that's coming through, okay? But again, it's this idea that the Tower crumbles down and it does something to the soil. The soil can represent your imagination, okay? And it's almost like there are pieces that are going to pick up from letting this phase, this cycle, just be an element of experimentation. I think that's really crucial. And again, this is a general reading, you guys. This can be interpreted into 100 billion different ways. So try to let this lens fit into your current situation, because some of you are saying, I don't want to let this project go. What are you talking about? And you're going to have to figure that out for yourself. So back to this message is what I'm hearing is that the Tower is coming to crumble this project down because there are bits and pieces that are going to be like puzzle pieces is what I'm seeing, and it's going to feed this new idea, okay? And that is being supported by the energy of the Emperor, okay? What I'm seeing is you utilizing all the experience you've gained from what you've been building right now. It's just that we wanted to take a different shape, or we're nudging you in a slightly different direction, or we can see from 100 miles away that you're not going to reach this goal with the present mindset. So it has to be removed so that you reach your goal. Okay, there's a really strong energy about not fearing this Tower. I'm getting the idea of divine intervention. And one thing that's always super important to remember is that the universe wants you to have the most abundant experience. And so if you're heading in a direction, if you're barking up the wrong tree, if there's going to be some moment where resources run out, it's because we want to redirect you. We want you to go where you desire, where you designed before you incarnated, okay? And so it's cool. I've never gotten this, you guys. It's like the Tower crumbles down because that's going to break down into the soil, and then what comes up, what sprouts out of this is going to be abundant because it's being represented by the Emperor. And to me, it's the figure in the major arcana, or it's the figure in the entire tarot that is the highest in status, okay? And there's this idea of letting this project, this idea, take a new shape and not being afraid of phases of experimentation, okay? It's funny because it's all in your head is the only thing I've ever written. I felt drawn to like talk about that. And then we have this sort of outcome card being represented by the Nine of Swords. And this is a really crucial message because it doesn't necessarily mean headaches and nightmares. It could talk about fatigue, mental barriers built up that need to come down. But what I'm getting is a shocking illumination. So, letting this project go, whatever that energy looks like to you, it's going to be different again. Letting this tower crumble, reaching this major epiphany, this realization, and then embarking in a new direction with much more fertile soil is going to bring about some shocking illumination or truth. And some of you are receiving this in your sleep, okay? There was one time I was in Savannah, Georgia. I was at the master's program in Savannah College of Art and Design, doing very well, but I didn't, it was not the right program for me. So I was, sort of figuring out, like, how long do I have to stay here? Am I really going to be here? Like, what am I doing here? And then I woke up in the middle of the night one time around 3 in the morning, and I just opened my eyes, and I had the most crystal clear idea, which is very, very weird to experience right when you wake up. It's you usually don't wake up, and if you do, it's like, I need to go to the bathroom, but do I? I'm going to go back to sleep. No, this was very different. It was like, apply to Cal Arts, which was my dream school. I didn't get in my first time, but I did later. And I just reached over to my desk and I scribbled down apply to Cal Arts. And I woke up in the morning and had this like inner determination to go and apply to Cal Arts. And you know what, Pile 2? The deadline already closed. But do you know what I did? I contacted my professors. I got incredible references and letters of recommendation. I put together a body of work in a day and applied. Even though it was after the deadline, my application went through. For some reason, it just did. And I got a call, and then I got to audition, and they accepted me. And it was the most remarkable experience of my life because it showed me that even if I go in a direction that seems really supportive, even though I had put a lot of time into applying to colleges and, didn't get into the dream one, but, got into one and then realized when I was there, something's not right. It's this energy that I'm picking up on for Pile 2. And I just, I said, this is fine. I'm going to live my life as if it were an experiment because I'm not a fan of Earth. Mother Earth, yes. I'm not a fan of, these limitations we have, the economy, money, yada, yada, yada. If we have to be on Earth, I'm definitely a starseed, you guys. Maybe you are too. There definitely has to be some element of the universe working with us if this is going to be something I would sign up for. I feel like this is some energy that is surrounding Pile 2 as well. And so I did it. I just, put the application in, even with the audition, I could either have done it online or in person. And I really wanted to get into the school for some reason. It was really, really, I needed to prove to myself that this was possible. Okay. And so I emptied my savings account to buy a last minute plane ticket to go out there, and it, panned out in my favor. And what I'm getting is this idea of experimentation. I had gone all that time to go to college and spent all that time in classes and doing very well. I was the only student in my program with a 4.0. It was all this long, hard work. And do you know what? That all was necessary to crumble down in order to create the most incredible application, because the images in the application, the portfolio, the letters of recommendation that I used to apply to Cal Arts was remarkable. I knew I was going to get in for some reason. I just had this inner knowing. I can't explain it. I just knew, even though every single odd was against me. That talks to me about this emperor as well. He goes into the unknown, a desert, and creates everything, a utopia, even, for some reason. That's what I just heard. But it was all worth it. All the experience was worth it because, again, I had a remarkable portfolio that I knew was just remarkable. And all the professors were really astounded by me compared to the first application that I applied with, which was a far cry from what I applied to the second time. There's the idea of experimentation and loosening the grip and letting something crumble down in order for it to transform. Okay, that's the energy that I'm picking up with the butterfly is here to deliver a message of transformation. Okay. And that's what I'm picking up on for you guys. It starts in the mind because the butterfly talks about air, okay? And It's time to discern your next move, okay? Because you are ready right now for some area of transformation in your life. Now, let me take a second and pull back and see where I want to take this reading next. Okay, you guys, so the first question I heard was what needs to be let go of, okay? So let's just leave this beautiful tower out here. That's another message that's coming through. When you look at the tarot cards, I think some of you are tarot readers. This is one of my favorite illustrations in the deck, coming from an art director's point of view. It's very beautiful. I love the black. I love the lightning. Graphically, it's just very beautiful. Lots of colors. Okay. So can I have, let's see, I would like to channel, please, a message for pile 2. And we're going to start now. Recognize your potential, pile 2. Recognize that you have the ability to create and recreate. I love to see this. Oh my God, right? I do see you guys kind of as the phoenix rising out of the ashes. Something needs to transform, and what better representation between the tower and the star? It's the idea of fertilizing the soil. Would you look at that? I love your reading, okay? It's the idea that every experience gained, all the emotions, that is not wasted just because you let it go, just because it crumbles down. It is all valuable. It literally looks like you fertilizing soil, right? So the water, the description here talks about source, which is where this pond is. And it talks about pulling from the Akashic records is what I'm hearing for some of you. Some of you could channel, okay? Some of you have been writing books or starting creative projects, and it's gone a certain direction, but we want to start over because we want it to be this, remember I said we need to sprinkle some authenticity into this. The star talks about authenticity. It reminds you that you are an individual spark of consciousness, here to experience the human experience, okay? And what I'm getting is an idea that we're pouring all the water right back, right? But it is not wasted. It was not wasted because you needed this experience in order to give you a perspective for further down the road. Okay, and for some of you, a moment of deep rest is being called upon. In order to reach a peace of mind, the word pax is in the stained glass window here. And this deep meditative rest is when you're going to reach this epiphany. For some of you, this epiphany is coming in your dreams. For others of you, it is coming through meditation. But regardless, there is a communication coming through that ultimately results in a victorious output, okay? The result is victorious, okay? Victory. What I hear is a communication of victory, okay? This could have something to do with a childhood dream of yours, okay? And this meditation is actually a moment of healing for you guys, deep healing. And this message could come from overseas, okay? This message, this communication could come from you taking a spiritual retreat of sorts, and you're going to have victory over rising from your ashes, the death card, letting something go, okay? So the message seems to be about having comfort and letting something go in order to rebuild it. The butterfly is talking about we're getting you ready for a major transformation because ultimately you are ready. That's the message I'm hearing, with the star as well, okay? This seems to be, the main energy that I'm picking up on. But I do want to draw a spiritual lens and some earth magic for you. So thank you for that channeled message. Can I get a spiritual lens, please, for pile 2? Spiritual lens for pile 2, please. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution expression. Talks to me about voicing your opinions, this element of authenticity. And some of you were identifying that you are in the larva stage and it's time to release this creative work. That is a very prime example about how a general reading works, pile 2. I was getting for the majority of you the crumbling down, that is releasing control. But the cocoon into the birth stage of the butterfly talks about releasing the creative work. I think that some of you are coming out of a period where you have really been developing this creative project. Again, that project that you identified early in the reading is what I'm referring to now. And some of you, it's time to release that, because I feel like it's really, really spiritual in nature, or that your guides have really been assisting you throughout this creative project. And again, it's the idea of someone who's been building a work of art, but that's just the energy of it. It's going to look a little bit different for everyone. But when I see that pyramid connected to the stars, it makes me think of the three pyramids. And there's a lot of symbolism with pyramids and connection to stars and stargates. And what I'm getting is that it's time to release this creative work. And if it doesn't take hold, if it doesn't take root, if it's not highly celebrated, you are in a cycle that is never ending in this incarnation of self-awareness. Okay, and you would just be beginning something else. And remember, all that experience is just experience gained, because it creates your mind to be more fertile. It develops your imagination and it develops your intuition, because you can pull from a vast experience, a wealth of experiences. Okay. So this card, share your voice, come out of the cave, expression, right? To me, it talks about friendships. It talks about hope. And it talks about finding your tribe. I think some of you have been building in the dark, and it's time to release your genius, is what I just heard. So let's grab a Earth Magic card to wrap up your reading. Can I get an Earth Magic card? Okay, I keep hearing two. I will draw two. Ooh. I haven't seen that one. And Passion with Fire. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So this creative project, this moment of transformation, for some of you, this is a karmic event. This need to let things go is karma. It's an idea of experimentation. I think that's a huge theme. One main message for pile 2 is getting comfortable with not being so attached to things, especially if we can recognize that the energy is not being supportive, that it's really not taking off, that it's really not about being patient, that it's just simply not built on the right foundation. It needs to just crumple down in order to build something up. I just saw a clay pot, and if you have ever worked on throwing a pot on a wheel, I'm talking about ceramics right now, if that's not obvious. You can build that pot up, and if it's wobbly, you can do that. But if it wobbles and you take it off and it collapses in the kiln, you ruin everything, because it could explode and ruin all the pots, right? So it's almost like it's better to let that clay pot be crushed back into a ball in order to build it up again, right? That's a really strong message that's coming through, to the point where I just feel like these are the end of the messages that I'm getting for pile 2. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, or if you've made it this far into the video, please give me a big thumbs up. It helps me go so far in the land of YouTube. And until next time, stay divine. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. I hope you guys are doing so well today. You guys chose the frog, and the frog talks about cleansing and, talks about cleansing, and I think that some of you could be clairvoyant. It would be very, very rare, but one of you could be a medium even. Clairvoyants and mediums, and shamans utilize the energy of frog because it talks about water and transformation, but in order to cleanse. And so the frog at this time in your life is telling you that there is a person, a place, or a thing that needs to be cleansed in your life. It needs to either be removed or cleansed. And what I'm seeing, you guys, is this gigantic Ace of Wands as a bundle of sage, and it feels like your home needs to be cleansed at this time. So, in a very, very loose interpretation, let's see, home cleansed equals happy home. These cards literally talk about the home. This is an emphasis on legacy and career and finances, and this is an emphasis on emotional satisfaction. The 10, the very epitome of it in the home, equals star. So hope, star potential, star power, life purpose. things along these lines. So I think that's remarkable. I just pulled your cards and I'm like, really? It literally looks like with all this, smoke too. It's not white but gray. It makes me think of a Palo Santo, which is really great for cleansing, or people can use rosemary, lavender, sage. So what we're talking about, the frog wants to tell pile 3 that some person, place, or thing needs to be cleansed, and I get that it is your home. And you guys are like, yeah, of course, there's some spring cleaning that needs to be done. It is spring, Zach. How original of you. But there is something about you guys being sensitive, right? So I got that idea of you guys. I think one of your clairs that is the strongest is clairvoyance. Okay, so you guys get clear pictures, mental images, and that's how I mainly operate, is clairvoyance too. When I do readings, at least outside of the tarot, it's definitely claircognizance, just this inner knowing. So what I'm getting is that, with these, it's a really, really fun reading. Outside the context of the frog, I mean, these are all remarkable. It feels like money's great. You're going on a new adventure, somewhere abroad even. Home life seems to be, again, at the max. So home and finances are at the max, with having the spirit of adventure and the star. So it, to me, talks about someone who's experiencing a very happy moment in their life, okay? But through the context of the frog, it says that some family member needs to be cut out. It talks about the home. It talks about some home environment. It could be a room in your home that you spend a lot of time in. It needs to be cleansed. I'm seeing the sun now right here, and to me it talks about opening the windows in the bedroom and letting light and fresh air inside. And some of you want to move from the city, from the congestion, into outdoors where you can be a lot more authentic. Okay, so the message that's coming through in this moment seems to be about someone who is an extra sensitive, who is in a city and needs to get out. And to me, it feels like leaving the city is going to be like a breath of fresh air for your soul. Because when I get the frog, it talks to me about you needing to fill your glass. Okay? I'm getting the idea of replenishment, deep replenishment. And so this will look different for a lot of people, but I love to see this idea of replenishment with this star here, our androgynous angel, okay? And I'm getting the idea that you water many people, and it's time to water yourself, because you, as an extra sensitive or an empath, those are the main energies I'm picking up on, you are like the sweetest divine ambrosia that energy vampires can just suck on to their little heart's desire. And there's a real power in awakening to this understanding of how sensitive you are. I'm picking up on someone who's a very sensitive person. So you guys have psychic abilities. You guys could be telepathic, and you guys are natural healers. It's because your energy is very healing and very cleansing. And this message is important, okay? You guys could be in very happy relationships, but there could be something that needs to be brought to your awareness, that needs to be cleansed, and that is why the frog is here, okay? For some of you, your partners could be someone who just, naturally pulls on your energy, and it's something that you just needed to bring to your awareness is honestly what I'm getting. And for others of you, this talks about, in that very, very obviously illustration, seems to be about cleanse the home in order to bring forward a miracle. That's weird, okay? A miracle. Okay, a miracle for some of you, and I see that with a rainbow and the star. Honestly, with Ace of Wands too, you guys. So the big message from Frog says, home. Cleanse the home, you guys. And this really is important, okay? Because there are times in my life where I have just been like, okay, something is heavy in the air. It's either a spirit trying to communicate with me and I am not present to do that right now, so please leave me alone, or it's the energy of a partner who had a bad day of work and you brought home all of that energy, and I'm very, very sensitive. I get that you guys are too, and I needed to make an effort to be like, get out. Not here, not now, no thank you. Some of you just need to scream stop, be like, MF, like just like scream curse words to get some energy out. Something needs to be cleansed. Some of you just need deep breaths and some meditation. But what I really get is something at home needs to be cleansed. Now, I don't want you to think that there's a negative spirit, because negative spirits are actually incredibly rare, and they only exist in places that are abandoned because they don't like to be around people, okay? So that's a message I need to keep bringing through on this channel. I have, I guess, for now, 3 different readings. Last week and the week before, and now this one. Okay, so there's the idea that energy, though, can be very stale. And what I want to see you guys do is take a bundle of sage, Palo Santo wood, whatever you feel drawn to. Some of you even can, take some water in your mouth if you know you are a healer and just spurt it out, kind of like a shaman does to cleanse you, is the energy that I'm getting. And some of you are taking up a spiritual path to becoming a shaman or to becoming a healer. I see that really illustrated in this frog message. The frog is such a gentle creature, it breathes through its skin. And that talks about someone who's very, very, very perceptive, someone who's extra sensitive, especially to their environment, okay? I'm getting the idea that you are a product of your environment, and the more you create the most abundant creative space, the more you will be inspired and feel inspiration. It lets out your star potential is what I'm hearing, and it brings up your energy to the point where you radiate this incredible white energy is just what I'm hearing for you guys. But it comes from needing to be able to develop a practice where you regularly cleanse your energy. And this is something that I can become better at too. I've started to leave sage around the house, and I live in Southern California, and so it's very fun for me to go on hikes and collect sage out there in the real world. And I don't want anyone coming in the comments after me being like, you got to leave that for everyone, you got to leave it for the Native Americans. First of all, people, I am Native American. I have Cherokee and Penobscot. Second of all, any person on this planet should have access to anything, okay? I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but it is also incredibly evolved to think that way, and I am not going to change my mind on that. There is nothing on this planet that you should not have access to. So I'm giving you permission as a Native American, as someone with Native American heritage, to utilize white sage. Now, there is the idea that, making sage be extinct by removing it from the environment. Yes, that is a negative idea, but we do not need to fold in this concept that it should only be access to certain people. That's a really toxic idea, because that, it removes us from oneness, right? To say that one party can use it, but one party cannot. So, wow, this message, very, very different than what I'm getting, but it is that energy, you guys. It is the energy of needing to cleanse something, some idea, some mind, something away. And someone here needed permission to utilize white sage, because here's the difference. Palo Santo wood, it can clear negative energy, and, it's fine, but white sage is bleach, and sometimes your girl needs bleach to clean some negative stank energy, and that's what I'm feeling for you guys. And this is because you guys are a product of your environment. How you feel about your house, the state of you, the people in you, around you, they directly affect your ability to create in this lifetime. And so if we can develop a regime where we are very aware of cleansing our energy, and when something seems off, then we can stop being trapped in our mind and thinking that we are the problem when we're not. It could be a messy house, it could be stank energy, is the message that's coming through. And I will die on this hill, you guys, if there is anyone in here who's going to raise any objection to not being able to access white sage. I think that is the most ridiculous thing in the spiritual community, and I'm sorry if I'm ruffling feathers right now, because mine are very ruffled. That all needed to come out. Okay, so this illustration, the message from the frog, all these messages are very relevant, but let's draw a house, and then I want to channel a message for you guys. Oh, you. Okay, the 11th, you already came out. I want to work with another house, please. No, you're right. It did come out. Okay, so you guys have the 11th house. It makes a lot of sense. This card literally represents the word hope, and you have hope written there. It also is Aquarius, which is my sign. and you have humanity right there. So that makes a lot of sense. Some of you guys could be air signs, and this energy of rebellion. So I feel like I am picking up on you guys. Again, I never mean to offend people, but there are some things in the spiritual community that I hope to clear and cleanse myself. Okay, so this all seems to be revolving around, for some of you, it's your friends. Okay, this idea of needing to cleanse relationships and friendships. Okay, is the big deal. That I'm getting for you guys. Okay, so like I said, I want to draw a channeled message, so let me get ready for that. Okay. All right, Spirit, so I would like to channel a message for pile 3. Okay. It's really important this time to feel worthy of love. Okay, if there's anyone in your house who feels weird about you buying sage, who feels weird about you taking ritual showers, let them go. They're irrelevant. You don't need them. You don't need that energy. The Ace of Cups is the element of love, emotions, a lot of it. Okay, and there's this energy of innocence. Okay, you guys, I think some of you could quite literally be shamans. Curious about that idea. Okay, curious about sacred medicines. And the Page of Wands to me talks about, someone who's willing to experiment. But I'm getting the energy of pure innocence. Okay, I'm more or less picking up on your energy still. And now the Knight of Wands. Okay, so I see a development here, okay? I see the energy of someone who's kind of just like going with the flow, not really sure about energy vampires, the world, spirituality, though you are, psychic to a degree, and becoming more of a wild child, you guys. This new energy, this new persona, this new energy that I'm speaking in is the development that I see from you. Someone who's been under a rut because you've been under the foot of an energy vampire, or just existing in a room that really desperately needed to be cleansed. The idea of spring cleaning is to get rid of old clothes too that carry energetic imprints of past selves, right? I'm getting the idea that there are some clothes in your closet that desperately need to be donated to Goodwill because they hold energy that is no longer you, okay? I see you guys becoming this more empowered speaker. You're not afraid of expressing yourself. You're not afraid of hurting other people's feelings. You're not doing it to hurt other people's feelings. You're doing it because you're expressing your authenticity. You're speaking from truth and honesty, okay? And this this Nordic tarot deck, I think it inappropriately labels the Knight of Wands as impulsive. That should definitely be on the Knight of Swords, in my opinion. The Knight of Wands is someone who's spiritual in nature, very fiery, yes, the wild child, but they do it from like a really loving, grounded place, okay, in my opinion. So what else about this? And you're gaining control over your mind. I think some of you guys experienced nightmares. Some of you are afraid of the dark, and this is because you're very sensitive to energy. Some of you could literally have spirits around you now, is what I'm getting. And again, is that message. There is no such thing. I want you guys to internalize this. There's no such thing as a negative spirit. They're not allowed to enter the earth plane, in my opinion. And again, guys, I never claim to know everything, but I will speak with authority. I will speak confidently because I have that in my chart, and that's just who I am. And that's what I'm feeling like for you guys. There's this element of like building yourself up, building up your self-esteem, and recognizing that you believe in the ideas that you have, and it's okay to share them. But what I'm getting as well is that this idea again of the room, okay? So keep selenite by your bed. Cleanse the bedroom, change your pillowcases. Oh gosh, especially if your pillowcases are beige or gray and they take on a certain amount of dirt and grime over the years. Try a different color pillowcase. I use royal purple because I want really prophetic dreams, and I naturally have prophetic dreams, and you guys might as well. So try different colors and see how that affects your sleep. There's something about cleansing the bedroom, you guys, and to me that talks about literally going into the corners and smudging with sage. Okay, what else? Seven of Cups. What about the Seven of Cups? Three of Pentacles, recognition. I'm not getting anything from this. Can I have something else? Ten of Cups, joyfulness. You guys have the Ten of Cups again. Okay, so to me, Okay, so what I heard is that some of you have been waiting to receive a certain level of recognition in your field, and to me, that energy needs to be cleansed. Okay, you don't need to seek any experience outside of yourself, is what I've just heard. But what I'm getting more than that is that in order to feel this level of joy, in order to receive this recognition, it comes from our very first message, which is the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is the energy of the cups, and it says in order to feel love, you need to feel loved yourself. You need to feel worthy of love. The Ace of Cups to me talks about feeling worthy of abundance, feeling worthy of love, but feeling it on an emotional level. Recognizing that you are amazing, that you are a spark of consciousness, that every single person is born with creative gifts, with abilities, spiritual gifts, talents. Every single person. No one is unique in that. Everyone has talents and abilities. And what I'm getting right here with the Seven of Cups and the Three of Pentacles is that there are many fields that you guys could receive recognition in, okay? Many, many. And some of you are getting a lot of offers, opportunities, serendipity showing up as a result of cleansing your space, okay? I think that the Ace of Cups message for this channeled message is very, very synchronistic, okay? Because it talks about filling up your cup. That was the main message I was saying. Some of you guys need to really refill your glass. Stop pouring it out onto other people. It's time to nurture yourself, and that comes from when you set up barriers, when you set up limits with people, even with your best friends. Guys, when I realized that my best friend at the time was an energy vampire, that was so confusing for me. It was really difficult for me to be like, hey, like, you come over and I love you when we party, but if no one is entertaining you, you are kind of like a succubus. And you will realize that as you guys become more in touch with your energy and your space around you. These are all the main messages I seem to be getting. But I want to finish with some earth magic and perhaps a spiritual lens. So thank you for that channeled message. Can I get a spiritual lens, please, for this cleansing frog group? This is going to be for pile 3, please. Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. There is an idea of friendship here, okay? And groups, right? We have community, tribe, now soul family, call in your tribe. So whenever I see, elements of, that are repeating, it talks about a significant message, okay? So this friendship, please, can I have a pulse on this? What's going on? Okay. I'm hearing your friends are the key to opening up. Your friends are the key to be able to experience the world. And now we have yet another nude figure. Okay, the world is the epitome in the tarot, right? It is a period of integration. It's a period of assimilation. And to me, this talks also about protecting yourself. Okay, I'm getting this idea of protecting yourself. So some of you might want to wear black tourmaline. I love to wear black tourmaline. And some of you just simply need to cleanse your aura of energy vampires is what I'm getting. And we're weeding through certain friend groups, okay? Soul family talks about someone who has perhaps been without friendships or has weeded out certain friendships in their life. And doing so, they questioned, what are they doing? Because there's no person coming in to fill that void. And it's because you have to just simply allow for that person to come in divine timing and maintain your vibration in this higher state. You guys, it is difficult. It is difficult, especially if these people are your best friends. But when you can recognize when people are draining you of your energy and you can communicate this to them, they can either change or they have to be cut away. They have to be, because they pull you down from your purpose and they pull you down from being balanced, okay? The frog says that there is someone, something, or a place that needs to be removed or cleansed from your life, okay? So these are the main messages I'm getting for pile 3, and I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, or if you've made it this far into the video, please give me a big thumbs up. It helps me go so far in the land of YouTube, and until next time, stay divine. Hey pile 4, welcome to your reading. I hope you guys are doing so well today. You guys chose salmon. So the salmon's main message for you right now is that, I'm so sorry, excuse me. Whenever I seem to begin to start channeling, it's like, hello, let's have a little burp. Okay, back to the salmon. So, main message, trust your intuition, listen to it right now. It's time to use your heart or gut and not your head, okay? And what I want you guys to do is to back up to a time where you last felt certain. You felt happy, you felt in flow, you just knew that where you were going was correct, okay? And that seems to be like a main message. So there must be something going on in your house, is what I keep wanting to say for some reason, but there seems, okay, let me draw a house for you guys, 1 second. Can I get a house for pile 4, please? The 4th house. Oh, yeah, that would be why I heard house so strongly. Family, home, okay? Real estate. That's so interesting. I heard in your house like so strongly, and then we got the 4th house. So, what I was saying was there seems to be something going on in your life right now that's really needing you to trust your intuition, okay? This salmon has really incredible wild instincts, okay? So remarkable that it seemingly goes against all odds and fights so many things going against it, i.e., the current, going upstream against the current, yet it has to in order to reach its birth waters, in order to give to give birth in a place that is going to allow for greater reproductivity, for the eggs to reach maturity. It's necessary that the salmon returns to its birth waters, and it does so against all of these people, naysayers, going against the norm, going against the current, not really not going with the flow, but it's necessary somehow. So there's a really strong idea right now about your something requiring your intuition at this time, okay? And now that I've connected with your energy, I'm going to draw a spread, and so guys, I will be right back. Okay, thank you, pile 4. So here are the first 4 cards that I drew for you. You guys have the Moon, the 7 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. So a lot of talk about home as well, but it's really remarkable because we have this idea of this path, returning to birth waters with the moon, okay? So that's pretty funny. So to me, this talks about something coming to the surface. Now, right now, again, all these messages are timeless unless it's a monthly prediction. So if you're watching this around when I'm posting this, we just came out of a new moon, and there is only the tiniest glimmer of light shining on the moon. The moon does not emit its own light, so the moon can deceive just as easily as it can illuminate. And during a time when the sun is shining so little on the moon, there is a lot unknown at this time. A lot of secrets, a lot unknown at this time, a lot buried underneath the surface, okay? Now, the moon here, though, really talks about intuition and psychic ability, but more intuition, inner knowing. So there's something right now where you guys are needing to make a decision, and it's based on your intuition, and it might go against all odds. It might go against a strong foundation. It might go against what your family is thinking. It might go against societal norms. It might go against everything you've built up so far right now. And it doesn't even have to be that big. It could be about something much simpler, like, I don't really think I should buy that Kia. I really want to go for a Toyota. I don't know why those cards came to mind. Maybe you guys drive those cars. Maybe someone's interested in buying a new car. But what I am getting is this idea that this intuition is heightened right now. You guys have salmon. It says trust your gut. There's something that we need to figure out, okay? And the main message seems to be about recognizing that no matter what experience is going on in your life right now, it is all worth the same. It is all equal. No matter if it's a good time or a bad time, it is all equal. And it's time right now to sense whether or not energetically you are in flow. if what you are doing, if the experiences you are currently experiencing in your life, do they seem to be moving you forward towards what you desire? Or are they holding you back, is what I'm getting. Right now, it's time to recognize what your intuition is telling you, because I'm getting this idea that there's some experiences that are meant to redirect you at this time, and that's not going to be a message for everyone, but the message that is for everyone is to recognize energetically right now, do events in your life, does everything that seems to be going on around you at this time, does it seem to be leading you forward towards what you want, or are things maybe in a little bit more of an ebb and not really supporting forward movement? Okay, so let's sort of figure out. Let me ask another question. How can pile 4, who chose the 4th house, get in touch with their intuition? Oh, shut up. The High Priestess over the Tower, okay? So what the High Priestess says, literally, the answer lies within. So there's some decision that pile 4 is making, okay? It could be a move for some of you. It could have it could have something to do with self-growth, okay? It could have it has to do with the home and your environment is what I'm getting. Some of you want to move homes, shift where you live. Some of you want to start working from home is what I just heard, okay? But there's something that's requiring a lot of intuition right now, or the key right now is to listen to your intuition. Your intuition is that quiet knowing, right? Anxiety is a message that comes through followed by a twist in your gut or a feeling of anxiousness. Intuition is not that. Intuition is simply the truth, the light of the matter, okay? And I see that being illustrated by the sword on the ground right here, okay? Now, with the tower coming out underneath, to me this talks about a shocking truth, okay? It talks about an epiphany, a moment of realization, okay? And to me, this has to do with this decision you make being groundbreaking. And what I just heard actually is that you have been fearing this decision, and yet it's about to show you abundance. It's about to show you how you can utilize your inner compass more easily, more reliably in the future. I'm getting the idea of avoiding some sort of decision and this being a pattern of yours. Sorry for bumping the camera. But when we can break this pattern of not trusting our inner voice, something shocking happens to the point where you're like, holy crap, I intuited that months ago, and for some reason I've been avoiding making a decision about it, avoiding listening to my intuition for some reason. And yet if I had, I would have reached this moment, this emotional satisfaction a lot sooner, okay? That seems to be, that's so annoying. I said, how can pile 4 get in touch with their intuition? And the message of look inside yourself, which is literally intuition, comes out. So it's a really strong message, kind of short and sweet. Pile 4 is very, very specific, you guys. I will draw a couple more cards, but I don't really want to get into the habit of beating a dead horse, because your main message, and you already know what I'm talking about if it's this strongly highlighted, it has something to do with your family or your home and something to do with your intuition, okay? And that's going to look different for everyone. I don't need to confirm whether that's an idea of moving, whether that's an idea of getting out of the house or something along these lines. That is something that's going to differ, because this is a general reading, okay? But I do get the idea that you guys know what this is. So I'm going to leave the High Priestess out just because I think that's so funny, as well as the moon, and I'm going to draw a channeled message for you guys. Okay. Can I please channel a message for pile 4? What would be useful for almost everyone in pile 4? Right now, it's really important to value your emotions at this time, okay? Because you see things for how they are, and right now, You lie above the confusion. You have a strong connection. Your intuition is very strong right now. And it's almost like you need to realize this strength of yours. You guys are being represented by the salmon. And so you have a wealth of wisdom in you because you recognize that wisdom is the experience of both something easy and something challenging and difficult, and them weighing equally. You guys have a strong measure of emotional intelligence as well as simple, unbiased logic and judgment right now. And you go between these two. You wonder if you are too in your heart and thinking that you should be more logical. No, the message is right now you need to listen to your gut. You need to listen to your heart. You have to turn off the brain because this decision, this move, whatever this seems to be about, requires intuition at this time. Okay, because there's an element of needing to recognize self-autonomy and being self-reliant, where you can recognize that you build your abundance from your clean, rational thinking. Another court card. You guys are remarkable. So now your energy is being represented by the King of Wands. To me, this talks about a leader, okay? And we seem to be focusing a lot of attention right here on this figure who is out in her garden, you know, again, an idea of home, resplendent home, surrounded by a lot of potent energy. And yet she is looking at this bird, this messenger, hoping the information will come from the bird's mouth when it needs to come from her, because she has to recognize, because this is important for her soul's growth, that she has all the answers within her, all of them. She can pull on lifetimes of experience. She can pull on the Akashic record. She can pull from a wealth of experience and wisdom in order to make this decision. Okay? So thank you for that channeled message. Can I please have a spiritual lens for pile 4? Pile 4, please. Council of Divine Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realm. To me, with the High Priestess and the Moon, and the Queen of Swords represents a spirit guide for me at times, I'm getting that your guides are with you very strongly at this time to help you, to guide you. There's somewhere Pile 4 is going where they are having hesitancy and they're doubting themselves, but you guys, you should not doubt yourself right now. To be represented by the King of Cups and the Queen of Swords is remarkable. Right now, your intuition is crystal clear. And if you could just go forward, if you could just take this step forward, things I'm getting are going to fall into place. There was that message of doubting this decision or not thinking that you could even make this decision or go in this path, leading to the 10 of Cups, remember, that came out, which tells me that as much hesitancy as you are experiencing at this time, you will soon realize how powerful you are as an individual once you can recognize this inner compass of yours that you have, which seems to be highly developed at this time. Can I please have one final message for pile 4? Can I have some earth magic? This is going to be, let's see, what lens do we want to put this through? What is something that can help? Yeah. This is related to karma, you guys. That's what I was getting with the moon and cycles, this idea of needing to, and now you have Uranus's psychic flight that just flew through this set. So that is a blessing, okay? I do think that some of you guys have a strong psychic connection. At the very least, your intuition is parallel to none, right? You guys have a remarkable heightened intuition right now. But again, the message beyond that is this decision right now requires intuition. It does not require the head. It requires the gut. That's what I'm getting. And this has something to do with karma, okay? It has something to do with recognizing your unique expression and power in your individuality. I'm getting a strong message of something to do with being a channel, being able to channel your guides at this time, just being strongly connected to your ancestors that have passed on at this time. Something you're supposed to do is remove a karmic block is what I'm hearing. And this has to do with trusting yourself, trusting the messages you get that are unseen, That was that message with the moon right now being very, very low and not having any sun illuminating it, so no truth. Just lots of secrets, lots of things hidden right now. And it is because you're supposed to take this step in the dark that shows your willingness as a soul to trust yourself and to trust the universe. There seems to be an underlying message of faith here. And once you can embody that message of faith, you're going to be someone who's very, very potent, someone who's powerful spiritually, and you're going to be able to shift things into your life into a favorable hand is what I'm hearing. Okay. Is there any other messages I want to pull? I do. I don't know. I want to keep talking to you guys. I'm going to pull a planet. Let me put this through another lens. Neptune, ooh, dreams. Okay. Imagination, the subconscious, empathy. Okay. Veils and confusion. Okay. And then spirituality seems to be picking up the most. Okay. So yeah, what I get is that there are lots of visions coming in your dreams or through meditation at this time because, you guys have the answer right now. I'm almost positive that you guys know what this is, okay? And it is asking you to take a step forward. And if you've been on this channel for a while, you may have heard this message. When I was at a point in my life where I hated a job I had, okay? I hated it. It was killing me. I used to work at an animal hospital. It was like the exact opposite of a job that someone who is psychic or someone who's an empath should hold any sort of animal hospital position or hospital position. But what I was getting, and it came in cycles, I tried to quit this job 3 times, and each time I got a raise, which was actually a challenge in disguise. It was killing me. I was getting out of work and I was feeling exhausted, burnt out, and I knew that if I left, something would happen. I just knew. But it was terrifying because we live in a world that's, not my favorite, you guys. I say this often too. It's ugly. You have to pay bills. You have to do so much just to live. And it's like, oh my God, if I incarnated on this planet, I don't want to have to do and jump through all these hoops, taxes, a job that I hate just to pay bills, yada, yada, yada. I just want to experience life itself is an energy that I pick up that could be similar to you guys. And it was this idea that I knew if I left this job, no matter how hard it was, because there were all those factors I just mentioned, if I could just do this, something would happen. But it took a long time. I started making a list of all the synchronistic things that happened to me, and it was remarkable. And that's what I'm getting for you guys. I'm getting that there are so many signs and synchronicities right now confirming your intuition. We need you to make this step, though. It has something to do with your karma. We need you to do this because it shows you how capable you are as an individual, and this sets the foundation for something else in your life down the road that will also require you to follow your intuition to something even grander, okay? But what I'm getting is that there are so many symbols because I was making a list on my phone. I started getting 1982 pennies, literally 9 of them, in the most remarkably ridiculous ways, to the point where it was like slapping me in the face, being like, are you seriously not picking up on these signs? Like, to the point where if I was a spirit guide, I would almost feel a little bit salty. But finally, after many moons, after many attempts, after many times trying to block out this intuition, I just did it, you guys. I left. I walked out in the middle of the shift. You can't judge me, only Carson Kressley can. Some of you guys watch Drag Race. That's pretty cool. Don't judge me. But what I did, I just left in the middle of the shift because I was burnt out and I had served so long and they had gotten so much from me. Something about me, it doesn't matter what job I hold, I always give 100%, and that's not something that most people do, is what I realized working at that hospital. But do you know what happened? I got a phone call from my all-time favorite photographer for that weekend, and I got to assist him in Chicago. Got back from that photo shoot and got an email booking me for a wedding later that month. And all these things started to shift into place. And you know what? It just took this message of this following my intuition. And this has happened this is just the one example I want to give you guys. It does work that way. The universe does support you, especially if you're getting as many symbols in your dreams and in your waking life that I really think that your guides are sprinkling on you at this time, okay? So these seem to be the main messages I'm getting through the salmon for Pile 4, and I really hope you enjoyed your reading. If you've made it this far into the video, please give me a big thumbs up. It helps me go so far in the land of YouTube. And until next time, stay divine.